Contribution and for Deborah. Very much for their contribution as well. So yesterday, I had an incredible Saturday date. So what does that mean? That's where you have a Saturday and it's an all-day long date. Oh! So in the morning, I got to go with my beautiful fiance to our marrieds devotional. And so it was great. We got to learn amazing things about what a godly marriage looks like. And we're gonna need all of the help and everything we can get. So the more we can learn now and everything, just file it all away. That's what the married people tell me. So, so in it, we were learning about love and respect. That was the title of it. And the importance of, for the men to love unconditionally. And so the importance of the men to lead in the relationship. And also the importance of the women to respect unconditionally. And the importance of them to submit to the men's leadership. And it was great seeing really the way that the Bible lays out what a relationship is supposed to look like. So then after that we went down to the south. We got to be with Hillary and James, sing some songs. It was great. We went over to Paddington back in the west for a Jen's birthday. It was great, it was a lot of fun. And then we went to go and watch Beauty and the Beast. It was a great day, it was fun all day long. And Beauty and the Beast, it's cool. I love Beauty and the Beast. It's one of my favorite Disney stories. And this is the new live-action remake of it. And it was good. I was talking to a brother about it, and he's like, oh, what did you think? I like this. I like the music. I liked the dancing. It was fun and stuff. But something that was unmissable about Beauty and the Beast is that the director of the Beauty and the Beast is openly homosexual. And in that, there were lots of little things in it. There were lots of little tweaks really showing the agenda. And it was so different seeing in the morning, seeing this idea of what a biblical relationship is supposed to look like. One man, one woman. This is the role of the man, what he's supposed to do. This is the role of the woman, what she's supposed to do. And to see how different the world sees that. Because the world is skewing what it is to be in a relationship. It's skewing the gender roles. It's skewing what a family is supposed to look like. And I was just thinking that for me, like I reject this. I don't accept this. I don't accept this agenda, this homosexual agenda of what it is. That a man can dance with a man or with a woman, whatever he prefers. There's a scene with that. A man who wants to dress up as a woman. It's just funny if a man dresses up, puts on makeup, does these types of things. Or even a man who wants to fall in love with another man. Like, this is what's being fed to the upcoming generation. And I was just thinking, it was just in my soul, it was just like, I reject that. I don't accept that. And if I go out into the world and I say what I believe this is wrong, I believe this is wrong, I believe this is wrong, what I believe against what the world believes is going to be a battle. And if it's me against the world, I'm going to get chewed up and I'm going to get spat out. If I just say what I believe, that's not good enough. I have to say why I believe what I believe. And this is what we have to do. It's not enough to know what we believe. We have to know why we believe what we believe. And so the title of my lesson today is Know Your Why or You'll Die. And this is it. It's not enough for us in the world today. If we just give a long list of what we believe, people will come and be like, well, why do you believe this? Why do you believe that? Is that what your pastor told you? Is that what your mom told you? Is that what your friend told you? And if we don't actually know why we believe what we believe, that's not going to be good enough. So point number one, dying for love. So in London on the tube, if you travel around, I'm sure you've seen these advertisements for these dating sites, dating apps and all these things. And if you just type into Google, I just typed in really quick last night, London dating. You get all of these websites. You've got Elite Singles, which is apparently the best. They're the elite. You've got Zeus, you've got Match, you've got eHarmony, you've got OkCupid, you even got Tinder, which everyone knows about. And all these people, they're looking for love. They're dying for love. But I want to talk about someone that died for love. So turn to 2 Corinthians chapter 5 and verse 14.
Come on, Colby.
2 Corinthians chapter 5 and verse 14. For Christ's love compels us, because we are convinced that one died for all, and therefore all died. And he died for all, that those who live should no longer live for themselves, but for him who died for them and was raised again. So as Chris said, the world has heard the phrase, Jesus died for you. But in the world, that's become so watered down to where that doesn't really mean anything. It doesn't have any power. And I want us to connect back with what this means. Because the world lives a certain way to get love. But I want to say the opposite. We need to live a certain way because we are loved. The reason we're loved should impact the way that we live, not the way that we live to get us to somehow to earn love for us. And the thing is that Jesus died for us. God showed his love for us by sending Jesus to die. And where's my water? I learned from last week, I got a big thing of water this time. So God showed his love for us by sending his son to die for us. And this love is so powerful. It's the reason why it's been diluted, it's been twisted and everything, is because of how powerful it is. Satan doesn't want us to fully grasp the magnitude of Jesus' love. Satan doesn't want us to fully understand and comprehend the power of the cross. Because in the scripture, what it says the love of Christ compels us. To compel is to urge, to pressure, to force almost. And then in other translations, it talks about to control. And in the world, we don't want to be controlled. We don't want to be controlled by anything. But when you look at it in the Greek is even deeper than this. Because the word is synako. And what synako means is it means to hold together. Or to press. If something is like broken, you take all the pieces and you press it together to make it one again. Or if it's like a city, to be surrounded, to be pressed on all sides. Or my favorites, if you think of a ship traveling down a river, the ship is forced to follow the river. It's compelled. It's no other option than to follow that river. And that's what Jesus' love for us is. When we understand Jesus' love, we have no other choice than to live in response to that. And I spoke about this on Wednesday. And I used the illustration of wrestling. And for the guys that were there, we saw Daniel. He tackled me to the ground. I've got a mark to show it. Since it wasn't fake. And it was great because you see, like, man, just how powerful the love of Jesus is. And it's just when we understand that, there's no other option. But I was thinking, you know what? That's not really the best illustration. Because there are people that do reject the love of Jesus. So how is that? I was thinking back to when I was in Indonesia. And in Indonesia, what we would do is we would go to the beach. And we would go snorkeling. Now, in Indonesia, they have some of the most beautiful beaches there is. Incredible tropical fish, beautiful coral reefs. And I remember the first time my friend, he told me about like spearfishing. I was like, oh, this is awesome. I was like, I can't wait to go spearfishing, and you catch a fish, you just cook it over the fire, it's going to be delicious, it's all going to be amazing. And the thing is, I thought it was going to be super easy. Because when you swim out there, the fish, they come up like right to you. Wow. And they stare down. I was like, what are you doing? This is my place. Get out of here. And I thought, like, oh, it'd be super easy. So I'm swimming, and the fish come right up to me until you pull out the spear. And then they scatter. They just know. They just know, oh, that's going to kill me right now. I got to run away from that. And so they swim away. So I was trying really hard, and I was paddling, I was swimming. Yeah. And eventually I found the area where all of the fish were. It was this channel in the reef. And all of the fish had gathered there. I was like, oh, this is perfect. So I would swim down, I would try and get it, they would swim away. And I would swim down, I would try and get it, they would swim away, and kept doing it. And eventually I got pretty tired. And I look up, and I see that the shore is not that far away. And I was like, okay, let me start swimming. So I put my head down, I start swimming. And I look up, and I'm not any closer to the shore. Oh, no. And I keep swimming, and I'm swimming, and I look up, and I'm still not any closer to the shore. Because what had happened is that the tide would come in, and then all of the water would come down the channel. And so I was caught in the riptide, which kept pulling me back out again. So no matter how hard I would swim, I stayed in the same spot. There was nothing I could do. And so what I had to do was I had to turn away from the channel, from the fish, from the coral, from everything, and I had to swim out into the drop-off, where it was just empty, blue, nothing. Swim away from the shore, swim away from the fish, swim away from the coral, into emptiness. And that's what people do when they turn away from Jesus' love.
Wow.
Is that Jesus' love is like that current. It keeps you in place. You cannot swim it. You can't do it. The only thing you have to do is turn away and run away from it.
Wow.
And that's what people do, is they turn away from the blessings, from the relationships, from all of the goodness that Jesus has for them. And that's when they choose to fall away. And so, but for us, I want us to understand the power of Jesus' love for us. In that when we stay in there, when we stay in that channel where all of the fish, the life, the vitality, the beauty, everything is, we can't get out of it. We stay in there, which is a good thing. That's where we want to stay.
Right.
And so for us to understand the power of the cross, we have to connect with the cross. We have to study the cross. We have to understand it. And I gave this challenge to the brothers in midweek to study out the cross one day this week for your quiet times. Now I want to ask brothers, how many of you have done it? Chris has done it. Oh, we got a few guys. All right, amen. For those of you that have already done that, fantastic. But for those of you that haven't, I really want to urge you. The cross is the center point of Christianity. It's the foundation that everything else is built on. If you don't understand the why of the cross, you won't understand anything. And for the sisters that weren't there on Wednesday, I wanted to give you the same challenge. One day this week, go through the cross study. Study it out, read through the scriptures, and listen to the audio recording of what Kip he does to break down the study and how it works. So we have to understand the love of Jesus. And then after we understand this love, what does that mean for us? Point number 2, forget the past or you won't last.
Come on.
If you continue on in 2 Corinthians 5, in verse 16. So from now on we regard no one from a worldly point of view. Though we once regarded Christ in this way, we do so no longer. Therefore, if anyone is in Christ, the new creation has come. The old is gone, the new is here. So in the scripture, we see there's 2 different ways of thinking. There's a worldly way of thinking, and there's a spiritual way of thinking. The worldly way of thinking focuses on the past. Focuses on the mistakes, the problems, the challenges. The spiritual way of thinking is able to let go of all of those things and focus on God. Focus on the future. Focus on moving forward.
Come on.
And when I shared this with the brothers, I was very moved by one of the brothers, Richard, who got up there. And he shared very vulnerably about his life. And he shared about how this had really been a struggle for him. Because one of the major mistakes that he had made in the past was the failure of his marriage. And he shared about how that really stuck with him. And it was difficult to be able to move on from that. But because of Jesus, he was able to move on from that. And he's able to look forward, to look to the future. And for all of us, we have these challenges. Maybe it might not be as big as a marriage failing, but all of us, we have our own failures from the past. Our own problems, our own sin that we hold on to.
Yeah.
And by holding on to it, that's what's weighing us down.
Come on.
Now, for myself, I learned to move on even before I was a disciple. Because the way that my life was is I would move constantly. I pretty much from about year 3 all the way up until I finished school, I would move school every year. Different school, different city, different country, different house. And so what that meant is every year, at the start of every school year, I would get a fresh start. So the good thing is that when I would mess up, when I would offend people, when I would cause problems, I knew, hey, at least I get to start fresh.
Yeah.
And so I could burn whatever bridges I wanted, and it wouldn't matter because the new place I went to, it would be fine. People didn't know. Like, I could have killed someone in the last country I was in, and no one would have known the difference. And so all of my problems, everything else from behind, I could leave that behind and I could start fresh. And so when I became a disciple, when I joined the kingdom, I was like, wow, this is great. I get to do this every single day. Because I understood that you could have a fresh start in life. But in the world, if you want to have a fresh start, you got to move to the other side of the world.
Yeah.
You got to leave behind everyone that knows who you really are and go and be with totally strangers who have nothing about you. Because in the world, people that know you, when you make mistakes, they hold on to that.
Yeah.
Maybe you want to let go of it, but other people won't let go of it. They hold on to it for you.
Yeah.
And so I learned that if I want to have a fresh start, I need to leave behind all of those people and go somewhere else.
Amen.
But the great thing is that because of Jesus, we can have a fresh start. Because of Jesus, we don't have to uproot our whole life and move to the other side of the world to get a fresh start. We can get that every single day. Because all of us have accepted Jesus' love and Jesus' grace, we don't hold on to other people's sins. We don't hold on to other people's problems in the kingdom. And so for us, if other people aren't going to hold on to our sins and our problems, we can't hold on to that either. We need to be able to let go of the past to focus on the future.
Amen.
A brother that I really want to lift up and that's just growing in this area is Peter.
Aw,
Now,
Peter.
Peter is incredible. And we were sharing during tea time once at Queen Mary, and he was just sharing about the challenges that he's been through in the past. And he's been through some huge challenges. And I was really, at the time, I was a little bit kind of like harsh with him. I was like, oh, come on, your life's not that hard. It's not that big of a deal. And then he started sharing more and more. And I was like, oh my goodness, like, you've been through some serious stuff.
Yeah.
Like stuff I've never been through. But the thing that I really respect about Peter is that because of Jesus at work in his life, he's moving beyond that. He's not letting his past define him. Things that, the sins that he's made, the sins that either other people have made, things that people have done to him, that isn't any fault of his own, but still can impact us. He's being able to let go of all of that, to focus on not who the world says he is, but who Jesus says he is. And so Peter really gets it. He understands what it is because of Jesus, he gets a fresh start. Not just every year, but every day.
Come on.
And this is what I really want to put out to all of you guys. I want to challenge you guys to let go of the past. Because all of us have our past. All of us have our issues. All of us have our baggage. And so practically what I want you guys to do is I want you to make a list of the major issues you have in your past. Maybe it's issues with your family, with your father, with your mother. Maybe it's issues of past relationships. Maybe an ex-marriage, an ex-boyfriend. Maybe it's issues of sin that you got into. Deep, dark, wicked sin. Whatever it is that's holding you back, I want you to write down a list of it. And then I want you to go through it one by one. To take it on. To pray about it. To do Bible studies on it. To share about it. To talk to your discipler about it. And then eventually I want you to be able to preach about it. Because the awesome thing about the challenges that Peter's been through is that as he's overcoming that, that's going to be so powerful when he preaches about it. When he can say, hey, before I was like this, and now I'm like this. Before I struggled with this, and now I don't anymore. Before this terrible thing happened to me, but now I'm looking and moving forward. And you hear Michael Williamson talking about it all the time. Talking about being abandoned at 14. That's huge. But that gives him such powerful things to preach about.
Right.
All of us have powerful testimonies.
Yeah.
All of us have challenges that we have overcome. And I want us to challenge us to be able to use that for God's glory.
Yeah.
So we understand the love of God, the love of Jesus. And because of that, that enables us to have a fresh start every single day. So this is the why. This is why we do what we do. But now, what do we do? We understand the why. What? Point number 3, my final point. We're called to be, point number 3, an ambassador for the King. So if we continue in 2 Corinthians 5, verse 18, it goes on. All of this is from God, who reconciled us to himself through Christ, and gave us the ministry of reconciliation, that God was reconciling the world to himself in Christ, not counting people's sins against them. And he has committed to us the message of reconciliation. We are therefore Christ's ambassadors, as though God were making his appeal through us. We implore you on Christ's behalf, be reconciled to God. So it says here, it gives us this incredible identity. It says we are ambassadors. Ambassadors of who? Of God. God, the God of the universe, who created everything, who reigns supreme over all creation. That's who we represent. And I love how Paul, he talks about it even more in 2 Timothy 4:2. He talks about us being a herald. Now, what is a herald? A herald is a representative of a king who brings a message or a proclamation during a time of war. And that's who we are. We're the heralds. We're the representative on behalf of the king. Who? King Jesus. We come and we bring his message, his proclamation to the world.
That's awesome.
And so here it says that we're given the ministry of reconciliation. Now, to reconcile means two things. Number one, to pay an outstanding debt. Or number two, to restore a broken relationship. And we see this is how we do both things with the world and with God. We help them to pay an outstanding debt.
Right.
What is that outstanding debt? It's death. You sinned, your debt, what you have to pay is death. You have to die. But because of Jesus, he paid your debt for you. So it's like you owe £1 million, but somebody else paid it for you, and which you don't know. And someone has to tell you, hey, don't worry about that huge debt you have. This person over here paid it for you already.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
And then not only that, but to restore a broken relationship. And this is what we do, is that the world is broken off from their relationship from God. And it's our job to go and bring them and connect them with God.
Come on.
I think of George. It was how awesome was to see George? George, come on.
Come on, George.
Now I love George. He's one of my favorite people here. And George, for those of you that don't know, was very different when I met him from how he is today. George has changed so much. You want to talk about someone who's able to let go of their past? That's George.
Come on.
When I first met George, it was in Ola's living room, and George, man, he was angry, bitter. He was unhappy with his life, and of course, how could he be? Of course, he's going to be. He's in darkness. He's separated from God. He has that broken relationship with Him. But it was so amazing to be able to be that ambassador, that representative of Jesus, to get in there in his life, and not just me, but it was myself. It was Ola. It was Michael Ochoa. It was Steve. And the sisters too. It was Denise and Kritzai and Leah. All of us were representatives of God.
Yeah.
And when George, when he saw our lives, he's like, man, I want what you have. And you see him now, he's a totally different person. Why? Because he's got the Holy Spirit in him. And now George is an ambassador. When George goes and meets people, they see, oh, especially people that know him from before. It's like, man, George, you're so different now. What's different about your life? God's different about my life. We need to be the ambassador, not just for people like George and Sam and Haven, who recently got baptized, but for everyone, for the whole world. And I have to ask you guys, are you doing this?
Come on.
Are you being that ambassador? Ambassador is just about the life. Or are you making that proclamation, proclaiming the gospel, the good news of Jesus, to a world that's lost and going away? I want to say that if you're not doing these things, it's because of one of two things. Number one, either you're not really in touch with God's love, you don't really connect with the cross, and you can't love other people because you yourself haven't accepted the love. Or number two, you're still holding on to the past, and the past is holding you back. It's that dead weight dragging around behind you that's stopping you from really proclaiming the good news about Jesus.
Come on, Colby.
And so I want to really challenge us to number one, we really got to understand the love.
Yeah.
Everything comes from the love, God's love for us. And if we're going to love other people, we have to first accept God's love. And if we ever want to get past, move beyond our past, we have to accept God's love, to understand that the only way that we can really get a fresh start in life is because of God and because of Jesus.
Yeah.
And so, why is it so important for us to remember that we have to be this heralds? Because the truth is, the world is going to hell. And this is an uncomfortable truth. We don't like this. We don't like to talk about it. We don't like to think about it. Because it's difficult. But there's some times in life where it just like hits you right in the face. And you can't get away from it. And it happened to me last night. When I left after, I was feeling discouraged, thinking about this film, the message that it's giving out to children. That all of the kids that are going to go home and ask their parents about, oh, mommy, like, is it okay for boys to like other boys? And is that okay? Like, this is what's happening. I was discouraged by that. And then I left into the heart of Piccadilly Circus. And it was late at night, and you could just feel the darkness. You could feel the hopelessness, the despair. People wandering around, staggering around drunk, going in and out of the clubs. They had their lights. They had all of these things, but you could just feel it. There was this emptiness. There was this hopelessness. And that's the world. When it's sunny outside, people look happy. We can forget the true state of the world. But at nighttime, when we really see the darkness, when we feel the darkness, we have to remember that it's our job. We're the ambassadors. Jesus came, he gave the message, and then he left. He left us to carry on the message for him. We got to continue being that herald, proclaiming that message to a world that's lost and that's dying. This week we have an incredible opportunity, and this is an opportunity that will not be missed. In the world, you have certain types of people that go to church twice a year. Christmas and Easter. We call them priesters. Next week is Easter. And there's so many priesters out there that aren't interested in God, aren't interested in church, but for some reason they come every Easter. I don't get why, I don't know why, but they do. It doesn't matter why, they just do. I was at the gym and I was sharing with this guy. This guy was huge, absolutely huge. He was as big as Daniel and like another wide. He went to the curling rack and he was curling like 40 kilos. Like it was nothing. You just see his biceps bulging out. Like I thought I was gonna like hurt my eyes just seeing the size of him. And I talked to this guy, I shared with him, I was like, this guy's huge. And I was like, oh, God be with me right now. Hey, you ever go to church? And he's like, no, I don't want to come to church. And I was like, oh, that's okay, but like, you want to think about it or anything? And he's like, yeah, I'm busy with my business, I got this, I got that, I've got my family. And like, anytime I'm free, I'm in the gym. Like, yeah, I can tell. But I kept talking, I didn't give up, I kept persisting. Because I could see this guy, he was miserable. He was so unhappy. I was like, man, I just want you to come to church, please. And he was like talking about his kids, and I'm like, okay, tell me about your kids. He's got one kid, he's got a kid that's 11, he's got another kid that's 2, and I was talking about them, and he's like, oh, you know what? Like, it is good for them to be in church. Like, especially for the family for Christmas and Easter. Oh, perfect! Come Easter! Come! And I jumped on that, and you know what? He's like, you know what? I think I'll come.
Come on!
So if you see an enormous Lithuanian man in church, his name's Charlie, and go talk to him. Love him. But how many more people are out there like that? That they don't care about God, they don't care about church, they're not interested at all, but for some reason they want to come at Easter time. It's just a part of the culture, it's just what you do. Let's capitalize on that. Let's go find all the priesters. This is our one chance a year to get them. Let's get them, let's bring them to church. Are you with me, guys? So what is my challenge for us? Very, very simple. Every day this week, go out, invite people to church for Easter. I want to have one-for-one visitors for the East region. I want Martin Scott to have a panic attack because we don't have enough chairs in the congregation. I want him to be scrambling around, getting the ushers out to put out more chairs. The East region brought too many people. And I want us to really go after it because this is their one chance. The people, for one day a year, they're open. They're willing to hear it. And they have all this preconceived notion about what church is. But they're going to come, they're going to hear the word preached. Wow, this church is really serious about God, they're serious about the Bible. And they're going to feel the love. Wow, this church really loves. You don't get this in the world, because it's different. You don't feel this. And so I really want us to capitalize, make the most of this opportunity.
Yeah.
So the challenge is everyone have a visitor. When I see you on Sunday, I want to be like, Chris, where's your visitor? I want to meet him. Richard, where's your visitor? I want to meet him. Beatrice, where's your visitor? I want to meet her. And I will. I'll come up to you. Don't worry, I will. And I want to see it. I want to be like, hey, I want you to meet this visitor and this visitor.
Come on.
So in the world, it's not enough to know to do what you do. You have to know why you do what you do. Why do we do what we do? Number one, because of the love of God. Jesus died for us, and that's the force that has to compel us. We're in that channel. We can't outswim it. We can't outswim. We can't outmove the love of God. It's so powerful, so forceful, that it gives us no other option. In addition to that, because of the love of Jesus, we get to have a fresh start.
Right.
Nowhere in the world do we have that. Only in the kingdom. It's only with God that we get to have a fresh start every single day. And because of that, we're called to be the ambassadors. We're the version of Jesus that people are going to see. And we need to really go out proclaiming the good news. Why? Because the world is lost. They need to hear the message, the truth about us. We need to be the light in the darkness. We need to be the hope for that lost world. We need to be the messengers to bring it and